Good morning, everyone. We are here to report the Module 2 Lesson 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I am here to discuss the Lesson 1, which is all about social system model. In this paper, I am assigned to tackle about the basic social concept and assumption on which I will explain in clear and an understandable manner. This paper consists of different ideas that focus on social system purposes and social model structure. This will help us to analyze deeply in how social system affect in our daily lives and why should it be maintained, and also must have a structure consisting of various parts what are designed to perform certain functions of the system. So what is the concept of social system? Individuals, groups, and institutions build a systematic set of interrelationships that constitute a coherent wall. A social system is defined as a collection of individual actors interacting with one another in a situation that has at least physical or environmental aspects. Actors who are motivated by a desire to maximize fulfillment and whose relationship to their situation is defined and mediated by a system of culturally organized and shared symbols. So, how social structure influence people? They can influence people by health, values, vocational attainment, sense of belonging in society through acting, through roles, and through social network and status. Social systems are open systems. Individuals can move up or down in social rankings. Social systems consist of interdependent parts, characteristics, and activities that contribute to and receive from the whole. Social system is not an integrated whole, but putting together of different units. Social systems are peopled, of course, into relationships existing between individuals, groups, and institutions. Social systems are structural, a distinctive, stable arrangement of institutions where people interact and live together. Social systems are normative. Normative is like a grammar. A system norms specifies what is acceptable and what is not in a society. Social systems are also sanction bearing, enforce a standard behavior that is socially accepted to regulate and maintain order. Social systems are also political, of course, composed of the members who are in power. Social systems have distinctive cultures, different set of symbols, rituals, values, and norms, beliefs that make one group. Social system is also conceptual and relative, and all formal organizations are social systems. Now let's move on to social system model for school. And there are three components of social system model, and these are input, transformation process, and output. One of the formal socializing agencies is the school. It has grown in importance as a result of sociological shifts and impacts. The school is a structured educational institution that disseminates knowledge, maximum understanding of the subjects required for living a meaningful and successful life. Social structure theory has been a sound perspective to explain the workings of school. Now let's talk about input. Input includes labors, students, and money from the environment and other associated aspects such as human, material, financial, or information resources. Transformation process. Transformation process in education, it refers to the organization and content of the curriculum, health of the interpersonal climate, motivational levels of students and teachers or administrator leadership, quality or quantity of instruction, coordination and vision, learning time, school and classroom, shared efficacy, and academic optimism. Output. Output consists of the process of teaching and learning interactions. From a social system viewpoint, significant outputs for student compromises academic achievement, creativity, self-confidence, goals, anticipations, graduation, as well as the rates of dropout. On the part of the teachers, important outputs are job satisfaction, absence, and turnover. Also, the output of open systems for administrators includes job satisfaction, balanced budget, and commitment to school. What is structural system? Structural system is a form of power. The major components of social structure includes culture, social class, social status, social roles, social groups, and social institutions. While structural system is an formal power, cultural system is an informal power. They are the structure for where humans shared social experiences or culture which can then be learned from used to their advantage in order to better the society. Now let's talk about political system. Political system is an open system, the social institution which relies on a recognized set of procedures for implementing and achieving the political goals of a community or society. What is an individual system? Individual system is a power of expertise. Every individual has its own purpose, roles, and status that can influence and can form a small or big group that can significantly affect the health system. The objective behavior of a social system is realized by the social systems theory. It has been a sound approach to describe the working of a diverse instruction. When we compare traditional and innovative institutions using the criteria outlined above, we discover a clear winner. Traditional schools in our nation have a number of flaws, which is influenced by our country. So that is my overall discussion. Now let's proceed to Miss Carbakil for her assigned topic.
My name is Jasame Escarbakil, and I will discuss the Module 2 Lesson 2, Key Elements of the School as a Social System. The objective of this lesson is to identify and explain the key elements of the school as a social system. Social system is the interaction and activities of groups consisting of members brought together for common purposes. This is useful in describing the recurring structures and dynamic processes in educational organizations. The school is an important center for promoting social mobility. The social system of the school aims to prepare the students to occupy social roles according to their capacities after leaving the school. In this model of schools, organizational performance is determined by sets of key internal elements, which is the structure, individual, culture, politics, and teaching and learning core. These system elements interact and transport inputs to outputs. First elements is structure. Structure provides a set of bureaucratic expectation, but let us define first what is bureaucratic or bureaucracy. Max Weber, a German scientist, defines bureaucracy as a highly structured, formalized, and also impersonal organization. He also instituted the belief that an organization must have a defined hierarchical structure and clear rules, regulations, and lines of authority which govern it. Bureaucracy or bureaucratic expectations such as rules, regulations, hierarchy, and division of labor are designed to attain goals in a rational and impartial way. The hierarchy distributes tasks to specialized individuals, and organization is a result of the division of labor. The structure of social system inherits many elements from rational, natural, and open system theories. For example, social systems have both formal and informal organizations within them. The second element is individual. Students, teachers, and administrators bring with them individual needs, goals, beliefs, and develop their own personal orientations and intellectual understanding of their roles. Individual motivation is of particular importance. Motivation from the individuals that comes from the interest and challenge of the activity itself is intrinsic, whereas intrinsic motivation is based on a reward and punishment. Although both can motivate, intrinsic motivation is typically more effective. The third element is culture. Culture significantly affects behavior through establishing commitment to shared norms among individuals. It can improve or impede the effectiveness of functioning of the school depending on the mission and environmental conditions. Organizations need to design their own unique cultures. In schools, shared values, norms, beliefs, and way of thinking among teachers are shared orientations from the culture of the school and significantly have an influence on their conducts. Therefore, our cultures depends on our social interaction to individual. A school that is close to external environment may have a great amount of interactions among individuals inside the classroom or the building. The four key elements is politics. Politics serves as the informal power relations that develop spontaneously. These form must the motivational aspects of teaching and learning processes in schools so that it will produce the desired goals. Technical core, teaching and learning, is the system of organizational activity where the real output of the organization is produced. Like organization, technical process in school is established by teaching and learning in the classroom. Environment. Environment is anything outside the system. Environment plays a crucial role in the key elements because it is the system's source of energy. The system takes inputs from the environment in terms of human and capital resources, values, technology, demands, and society, all of which provide constraints and opportunities for the school. If the outside system is not given well and not provided in a positive way, the possible outcomes of this is maybe negative. Outcomes is the product of the organizations. The best example is the educated students who successfully achieves their accomplishments and then they will get a job that satisfies them. Outcomes can also be either positive or negative. It depends on the objectives and outputs of the students gained from the internal elements. The outputs of the open system based on goals and performance. A school is effective if the outcomes of the students' performance is positive. Lastly, feedback loops, internal and external, is a part of the system which some or maybe all of the system outputs is used as inputs for the future products. It is a communication that monitors behavior. Feedback both have internal and external mechanisms that enable the system to evaluate the quality of its product. The feedbacks enable the system to adjust to different to improve effectiveness. Feedback loops can be either negative or positive. It depends on the external and internal that will be used. That is the end of my discussion, and let us now proceed to another lesson, which is the Lesson 3, the school as a community.
So, thank you, Jessa. I am John Angelo Rosil, and the topic that I have is the school as a community. Introduction. Introduce the school community and the relationship between the school and community that imply the learning and development of the student. So, here are the objectives. Define as a school community. Discuss the relationship between the school and the community. First, define as a school community. School community is our settings in which students, staff, parents, and community members work collaboratively to ensure that each student is emotionally and physically safe, engaged, support, and challenged. So the second one, discuss the relationship between school and community. For me, the main objective of the school community relation program must be to create and foster an interest in the educational of the community citizen, both youth and adult. A partnership must be created between the citizens of the community and the educational system, with the citizens realizing that. So, the relationship between school and community is very important to us because wherein the school community is a big role of an education system of influence their children to develop their full potential. So, let's proceed. There is a one picture here. The first question, what do you think is the community of picture with the topic of school community? So for me, the connection of the school in the school community is the opportunity to be united as a classmate and to practice the essence of the camaraderie, which is the true purpose of the school community. The second question, How would you describe your school community? So for me, a school community is a group of people that involved with the school who have common values and standard of the education system of the student who attend the school. So, the third question is, did your school participate in the community in which it located? Cite an example. So for me, yes, Coriaso College participate in the school community like basketball, volleyball, like other sports, wherein the other varsity player meet the other varsity player of the school and practice the essence of the sportsmanship, which is the true purpose of the league. So, let's proceed. Defining a school community. If schools are to be exclusive, every school should be central to its local community. Members of the school will be members of their local community, reflecting its beliefs and values conveyed through the action, behavior, and attitudes of the pupils, teaching and non-teaching staff, parents, and governments. So here, every school should center the local community wherein teacher, student, parents, and others must relate each other to work together and understand the goal of the student. Community defined as multidimensional within the location, structure, and process. So here in location, the students can adopt the system of the school like values and attitude, etc. The structure determines the guidance of the student, and lastly, the process. The process manages the student on how to develop their potential and learnings and understand the beliefs of the environment. All members of school, including those with special educational needs, as a participants in the school and local community, should be encouraged to have a shared commitment to the creation of the school community. So here, all the members of the school community can influence the students to the educational process of the learner. So, let's proceed. There are three possible pattern connection between school community as described educational literature. First, the closed door open. Second, the open door pattern. The third one is the balance pattern. So, the closed door open, the closed door policy will waste energy with guidance of the parents and community. The school will be unaware of changes occurring in the system. So, here in closed door open, it is the gap of school and community wherein there is criticism. For example, the part of studies of the learner, parents describe the teacher as being unprofessional, lacking of adequate professional and unprofessional levels, and the other hand, the teacher gives the parent a similar portion of criticism from improper behavior pattern. So, we can see here that there is no cooperation, a good and good. The second one is the open door pattern. The school and parent operate as open system that decide the process that inputs of external or internal environment. So here, we see the cooperation between the parent and the school wherein the information flows with both direction. They are open to each other to the betterment and child education process and become the influence of the life of the student. The third one, the balance pattern. The school and parent set the degree of closeness or distance between them in order to achieve the goal of a child. So here, there is a balance connection between school and parent. When the distance large, the school get to reach, and the community, when the distance small, the school close its gates. In this situation, the school will be close enough to the parents and community in order to avoid the damage of cooperation of the educational process. Thank you. So, let's proceed to the another one reporter.
You have now reached the last lesson of this module. I'm Angel May Naik, and I will be discussing to you the lesson 4, which is entitled School as a Learning Community. So in this lesson, we will be undertaking the community practices and understanding the school learning action cells, or the SLAC. So let's start with the model of Hyatt Michael of the learning community. So in this model, the elemental requirements of an organization are described on the upper part, and the elements of an individual are described on the lower part. So it means that in all learning organizations or community, all members should accept the responsibility for change and growth of their organization. So, just like in school, staffs, teachers, students, parents of the students should take part or should really have that sense of responsibility in the goal of having change and growth for the school. Let's move on to the essential elements for a learning community. So we have four here. The first one is a servant leader who performs as a guide and nurture. So when we say servant leader, he or she encourages every individual to do their utmost capacity for the common good or for the good of their organization, and he or she also encourages the learning and individuality of every members rather than harnessing praises for his or her efforts. And the second one is a shared moral purpose. So here, it is a goal that for the common good of the community, and it serves as a core force to unite every individual in the community. And the third one is a sense of trust and respect among all members. So here, the leader should really understand the lives and qualities of every members, because by doing so, it will establish trust to one another and respect. And the last one is an open environment for collaborative decision making. So here, the learning environment should be open and flexible to all members. That members should not feel any hesitation when they want to say their opinion about the decision they are making. On the other hand, here are the characteristics of learning community, representing different ways of defining the boundaries of community. So this study is according to West and Williams. We have four here: access, relationships, vision, and function. So first is access. It answers the question, who is present. Second is relationship. It answers the question, who feels connected and accepted. And the vision, who shares the same vision and or purpose. And the last one is the function, who has been organized to achieve some goal. Here we have the characteristics of communities in practice. So we have three here. The first one is domain. So domain is the community members have a shared domain of interest, competence, and commitment that distinguish them from others. So it means that their interest, their passion is very unique from others. So this shared domain creates common ground, inspires members to participate, and also it guides their learning. So the second one is community. So community, here members pursue this interest through joint activities, discussions, problem solving opportunities, information sharing, and relationship building. So here community, it means that interaction is really necessary for the community to freely share their ideas with one another. The last one is practice. Community members are actual practitioners in this domain of interest and build a shared repertoire of resources and ideas that they take back to their practice. So here, while the community is on practice or they are experiencing the community, they also learn something. They also realize something about the community and they learn something from it and they use it or they shared their ideas to one another to improve the community. Now we'll talk about the school learning action cells, professional learning communities. So the Department of Education has implemented a policy on the learning action cell as a professional development strategy for teachers. So this policy help teachers to resolve shared encounter challenges in school. So, in-depth ed, learning action cell is a group of teachers who engage in collaborative learning discussions to solve shared challenges encountered in the school, facilitated by the school head or LAC leader.